Alright, we have a new setup. Now I'm on camera. How about it? Finally. No more of the Blair Witch style and the point of view video, so hopefully this will work. Fortunately, I'm still using my cell phone camera, so I can't see if I'm really on camera right now, so if I'm a little off focus, then sorry about that. So anyways, for the last week or so, I've been going through and testing out various blends of the Tom Ford private collection. Private blend collection. Bit of a word jumble there. Now, I haven't really done this much in the past. There's a couple that I've used before extensively, one of which I did a day with video on, and another one that I haven't really discussed much, but it's actually, I think, the best one that I've come across, which I'll get to a little bit later. But I know some people have been talking about blending some of these together, and there's been some talk about how when this line came out, it was originally intended to be blended with one another, so I figured I'd give it a shot, try out some new things, and I've come up with, well, I didn't really come up with a top list. This really isn't intended to be a ranking, but I tried to run the gamut of both the popular ones from the line as well as some ones that are not really very highly publicized, that not a lot of people seem to wear. I don't think I did any of the discontinued ones. The only thing I didn't get to, I do not have any of the discontinued ones here, although it's probably not most useful anyway, since those are gone and very hard to get their hands on. So, first thing I'm going to do, the first combination we have is going to be Lavender Palm and, where is it? Oud Wood. Now, I don't have my Oud Wood sprayer out here. Uno momento, por favor. Alright, back again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these on a card. I've already worn them, but just spray them on a card just to refresh my memory a little bit. I did take some notes on them as I went through this. Now, what I did was I layered them. I did not blend them. I don't know specifically how much of a difference that would make, but in this case I'm doing a spray of Lavender Palm first, and then doing Oud Wood on top of it. Now, when I first wore this, it was, yeah, this one is a bit much at first. It's a little, it comes off harsh, it's a little sour, which I think is the oud meshing with the lavender and lime blossom combination. It's really a harsh opening. It's not something that I think would be terribly pleasant. Yeah. Now, as it does start to dry down, that's really when it gets better. The tonka bean from the Lavender Palm comes out and mixes really well with the rosewood note of Oud Wood. And I think that's really where the best you're going to find from this is going to come from. It's a little interesting side note. How about that? The juice is actually, if you can notice, the gold Tom Ford thing there. I'd use this as a card for a note to my roommate. The gold font actually came off a little bit as I sprayed that on there. It's interesting. Yeah, now this is really starting to die down, and the tonka is starting to come through a little bit. It's nice. I don't know that I would wear this. It's a little bit much. I first tried this when I first bought Lavender Palm. The Tom Ford rep in the store actually went through a bunch of different combinations of Lavender Palm, and this is the one that actually stuck out the most to me, and which is why I tried it out. But I'm not sure that I'd wear this. It's a little bit, something's not right. It's a little off. I don't know if it's the oud just doesn't necessarily blend well, with the lavender. I don't know, but it's okay, not great. Anyways, moving along. Next one, a couple of lighter juices. We actually did Black Violet and Musk Pure from the White Musk line. This one is a lot like CKB. At least up top it is. Bottom's a little bit different, but when you first spray it on, you get very much of a CKB scent to it. So what I did was I had one spray of Musk Pure first, and then over it I put the Black Violet. And the reason I put these together is I wanted to try and find a warmer weather, lighter, bit of a citrus combination. And in Black Violet is actually my favorite of their lighter summer line, well, not summer line, but the summer-ish private blends. And yeah, this is a much cleaner version of Black Violet. If you've ever smelled it, it does start out, it's fairly fresh, with the bergamot and citrus opening, but there's a bit of a slight bite to it from the violet, which is one of the reasons why I like it. But the very white musky opening of Musk Pure is really covering up the bite of the violet and the oak moss. It's nice. It's very clean. It's a very clean, citrus, fresh scent. It'd be almost like mixing clean laundry and citrus. It's got a bit of a dryer sheet vibe to it. It's better than that, but it's a very, very fresh dryer sheet. Now, I don't know if I'll get this on the paper, but when I tried this on my skin, about half an hour, 45 minutes into it, I started getting this cinnamon-like aroma. I don't know where it came from because neither one of these have a cinnamon note. But it was there, and it smelled, you know, it's sort of like how some people say that La Nuit de l'Homme has a chocolatey vibe to it. Even though it doesn't have any chocolate notes, it's like that, where you get an aroma that's very similar to it, even though it doesn't have that as a note. And I'm not quite getting it here, a little bit. It's starting to come out. Not much. I looked at the notes of both of these, and I would guess, this is only a guess, that it's coming from the resinous bottom notes of Musk Pure mixed with the violet and oak moss of Black Violet. If you look at the note breakdown of Musk Pure, the bottom is very different from the top. It has a lot more stronger notes to it, which is surprising because it's not very strong. If I've worn it once on its own, really didn't last that long. It was quite weak. And if you look at the note breakdown, you'd think that it'd be a lot more of a pack a greater punch, but it doesn't. But I think that's where it came from. I don't know. I'm just guessing off the top of my head, but it's not really coming through too much. But this is nice. The only problem with it is it's very light. It doesn't project much. It was very weak on my skin. It was around. It lingered for, maybe 6 to 8 hours. But beyond that, it was very much a skin scent. It could be worn in the summertime. This is definitely not offensive, but it might come off as just a little bit too... If you don't like that dryer sheet vibe, don't try it. And don't try Musk Pure in general. But it's nice. If you want to tone down Black Violet, you don't like the violet, you don't like the oak moss, this could work. It's possible. Alright, next one. It's another interesting combination I tried out. This one was Arabian wood and another white musk. This is Jasmine Musk. Now, this one, what I did was one spray of Jasmine Musk first, and then over top of it was one spray of Arabian wood. Now, let me first say, yeah, Jasmine Musk does not have a pink pepper note listed, but I get one. I don't know why. Even when the rep at the store I go to says the same thing, that she gets a pink pepper note out of it. It's not listed. It's not. I looked it up. There's nowhere to be found in any of the literature put out. But I get it. To my nose, it's there. And that was the reasoning why I thought to mix this with Arabian wood, because Arabian wood has a very oily, floral aroma to it when it starts out, and pretty much the whole way through it is. I thought it would mix well with that. I thought it might add a little bit of a zing to it, which it did, but it doesn't really last too long. My gripe with Jasmine Musk, and the reason why I would not really consider buying it, is that the nice pink pepper note is gone after about 5 or 10 minutes, and then from there it's a fairly generic, not generic, but fairly straightforward musky jasmine floral combination that doesn't really interest me. Now, these two really, they do go together well, but the problem that I found with this is that both of them are very straightforward, plain, to the point fragrances. Arabian wood, kind of an oily, floral, with a little bit of light woods, and that's it. It doesn't change, very linear. Projection, average. Jasmine Musk, once you get past the pink pepper, again, musky, floral combination of that. Doesn't really change much, very linear. And when they mix together, they don't really add anything to each other. They blend, but it's sort of like if you blended, I don't know, the thought that's coming into my head doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's like if you're blending water with water. It's not really, they don't really complement each other very well. They're just kind of more of the same. But it's nice. It's worth trying out if these are fragrances that you like. If you like either one of them, give it a shot. I don't know, it's just not really something that I would wear. I don't think it's enough of a, it doesn't differentiate itself enough from the original fragrances in order for me to really want to put these together. So that is that. Next one, two heavy hitters from the line. I put together Tobacco Vanille and Noir. Two of the most popular and most talked about juices from the line. And I decided to do the tobacco on the bottom. With a spray of Noir on top of it. Now, this one, I really was looking forward to doing this because these are two of my favorites from the whole line, two of my favorite fragrances really of all time. So I wanted to see what they would do together and what they would come out as. And I have to say, I'm not as impressed as I thought I would be. This is like, these are two very strong-willed fragrances going at each other. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's like they're fighting for attention constantly, and they're not blending. It's like, it's almost like an offensive and a defensive lineman butting helmets with each other. It's not exactly a pretty sight. Now, it's not bad by any means. These are two great fragrances, and they're not really in the same genre. They do share some faintly similar characteristics, but there's something about it. It's too much. There's a lot going on here. I think that the best characteristics of each of these, the black rose from Noir and the tobacco, they don't really go together. It's not the right combination. I think maybe a lighter rose would go better with the tobacco, but as it is, it's just not, something's not working there. Now when I wore this, obviously projection was very strong. Both of these are two very strong fragrances, so I'll put them together and has no problem getting off the skin, has no problem lasting. When it dried down, it was more manageable. As they calmed down a bit, they did start to blend a little bit better, but nonetheless, I'll say this, it's worth trying. I'll put it that way. It's worth smelling it at least once to see if you like it. But to me, it's a bit more of a paper tiger. It sounds better than it actually is. But I would say if you're a fan of these, at least smell it once just to see what it's like. And if it works for you, you know, this could be really good, because this is very unique. It's incredibly unique. But for me, I just don't think that it's a little bit too much of each other. So that is that. This one, the next one that I did was, where are you? Italian Cypress, and a little talked about one, Champaca Absolute, to lesser knowns from the line. So, decided to do, what did I do? Oh, wrong order. Did one spray of Champaca, which I've never smelled. Very odd fragrance. Did I miss? I think I did. So one spray of Champaca with a spray of Cypress over top. Now, put these back. When I was trying to put these together, I wanted to do one with Italian Cypress, and I was looking through my collection of Tom Fords to see which would be best. And I thought that the mixture of the spiciness of Italian Cypress would go really well with the odd floral cognac combination of Champaca Absolute. On its own, I'm not a very big fan of Champaca. There's something about it, there's this banana aroma that I can't get past. There is no banana note, but I think it's the combination of the Champaca flower with the cognac. When it comes together, to me, I just get bananas. Just got that Gwen Stefani song stuck in my head now. And hopefully stuck in yours too. But when you put these two together, it actually does come out pretty well. It's a very nice, spicy, floral combination. It's odd, but it's manageable. It's not like the Lavender Palm Oud Wood, which was very odd, but sour odd. This is just different, but it's a little bit, it's more calming. The spice mixes well here with the unique florals that you find in Champaca. I've never smelled a Champaca flower, so I don't know what it smells like on its own, but this is nice. I think this, of all the ones that I've done here, I would consider this to kind of be the sleeper pick, because these are two fragrances that aren't as talked about. There's certainly, Italian Cypress gets a little bit of publicity, but Champaca certainly does not. It's not something that's very talked about. I don't think there's any reviews of it online. I'm not even sure that there's an Italian Cypress review. Wouldn't be surprised if there is. But this is very unisex. I could see this on either a man or a woman. I think this really shoots straight down the line. It's very nice. I think this is, if you're just looking to put something together and you're not sure where to go, give it a shot. This is Worth trying. Definitely worth trying. All right, now the two that I have much more experience with. The first one is Tobacco Vanille and Velvet Gardenia. Now, as you may know, I did the A Day With video on it, so take a look at that if you want a little bit more on that. It's a very surprising combination. They do go together quite well. That's a case where, much like with Noir de Noir and Tobacco Vanille, the Velvet and the Tobacco really do clash. They both are very strong, but unlike Noir, they blend much better. Gardenias have a very buttery texture, and it mixes very well with the sweet vanilla of the Tobacco Vanille, and it does produce some very interesting results. So for somebody who wanted to maybe feminize tobacco a little bit, that's a great combination. But be careful with the Velvet. It is very strong. It is, from what I've smelled of the entire line, surprisingly enough, that is the most strong of all of them. Stronger than tobacco, stronger than Amber Absolute. It's a quiet beast, so it overpowered the tobacco very well. So now, the one that I have worn much more extensively, I've been blending this one for a while. This was suggested to me by a person who works in the Neiman Marcus that I shop at frequently, is Tuscan leather mixed with white suede. Now, this is a great combination. Great combination. For anyone who thinks that Tuscan leather might be a little bit too much for them. I've seen a lot of reviews of it where people say that the smoky leather is just too much for me. It's very harsh, it's very biting. This will calm it down, the white suede. So, the way I do it is I put one spray of the white suede on first, and then put the leather on top. Get a full spray. So what this does is, white suede it is what it says it is. It's a very suede, floral, a little bit of musk. On its own, it's a little bit more feminine than I would like. It's not one that I would really consider owning by itself, but mixed with, the Tuscan leather, it really, really comes out well. This is for someone, say a woman who wants to wear Tuscan leather, but finds it to be too masculine. Put white suede with it. You will be able to wear it. Not that this, I'm not sure I'd go all the way to call it unisex, but certainly it's a lot closer to that line. This brings out the raspberry note in Tuscan leather and really brings it to the forefront. And blends extremely well with it. The suede raspberry mixture, and obviously the leather is still there. They come together and really do. It's a wonderful, wonderful mixture. And I would highly recommend that to anybody who is a fan of Tuscan leather. Unless you are so in love with that biting, harsh leather and you don't want it to change, I would give this a shot. Or if you're, like I said, somebody who wants to tone it down a little bit, or if you're a fan of white suede and you want to find a different way to use white suede, I've never really heard of anybody who's a big white suede fan. This one, absolutely worth a try. If you're a fan of the Tom Ford line in general, this is a must try. Very good. So, that is that. Before I go, I do have a new split open. I haven't put up a video on it yet, but it's not a Tom Ford split. It is Amouage's Lyric. Have it up on Facebook already. Filled it up a little bit. I need to put the video together to throw on YouTube, but it's open right now. Amouage Lyric, doing 5, 10, and 20 milliliter portions. When I put the video up, I will put the prices up. Ordering it from Min, using the 15% off code, so it comes out to $2.55 per milliliter. So if you want a rough estimate of what the cost is going to be, I don't have it in front of me here. multiply 5, 10, or 20 by $2.55. Throw on some extra money for atomizer and shipping. That'll give you the ballpark figure. So that is that. All right. I will see you all soon.